And now at 6, Rabbi killed, and tonight we take you inside the investigation that led to an arrest in this case. Just a few weeks ago, we learned a grand jury indicted a young teen for the 2014 murder of the rabbi in Northeast Miami-Dade. And now we are getting a look at the evidence that prosecutors plan to use in the case. CBS 4's Natalia spent hours going through the discovery. She joins us in the newsroom with more on what she's learned. Natalia.
Well, most of the more than 600 pages of discovery focused on physical evidence, the autopsy, DNA tests, fingerprints, most of which cleared the murder suspect's friends. But DeAndre Charles, who was just 14 at the time of the crime, has more than DNA to worry about. There's an eyewitness who picked him out of a photo lineup. A witness identified 15-year-old DeAndre Charles as one of two young men who tried to rob and then shot and killed Rabbi Joseph Raxon on his way to synagogue in Northeast Miami-Dade nearly a year and a half ago. The 58-year-old witness told investigators, "I heard a man say, 'Help, help,' 2 times, 'help.' When I opened the front door, I saw 2 guys running, going up Northeast 7th Place. One of them turned and looked back. He says he saw his face and his bright eyes." That is the same witness who drew this picture, which State Attorney Catherine Fernandez-Rundle displayed during a news conference about Charles' arrest.
He was mean, cold, and he didn't have any money on him, so he shot and killed him. Just as sad as that. Prosecutors also plan to present DNA evidence in their case against Charles. After testing several other suspects who were supposedly part of his group of friends, Charles was the only one who could not be excluded from a DNA sample from the rabbi's right sleeve. The autopsy shows Raxon was shot on the right side of his body. DNA may also link Charles to parts of the murder weapon. According to the forensics report, a mixture of DNA profiles was obtained from the swabbing of the magazine extension and follower. The DNA profile obtained from DeAndre Charles is included as a possible contributor to the profile obtained in the mixture. Charles spoke with investigators twice during their more than year-long investigation. He voluntarily gave the DNA sample prosecutors hope will convict him. In interviews with police 5 days after the murder, Charles said the day of the shooting he was home with his siblings. He reiterated he did not ever leave his residence on the date in question and that he had no knowledge of the death of Joseph Raxon. His family members are adamant he's innocent.
My son was here on that day because I was at work and all my kids was here on the Saturday.
Facebook pictures show a young man who may be comfortable with guns. Using a canine, police found a .45 caliber handgun in a dresser drawer inside Charles Miami Gardens' home. There were no traces of his DNA, however, on the bullet casings left behind in the rabbi's murder. The state attorney said phone records would also play a role in their case. At this point, though, those records have not been released. Police are still looking to make 2 more arrests in this case, a young man who took part in the shooting and a getaway driver. Charles' next court date is January 15th. Natalia, CBS 4 News.